Today I wanted to do a little video on a concept that's called, um, I was praying and I was drinking some beer. I was eating some bread, and the Lord reminded me how much the cross costs, which was, it was pretty big because I was praying and I wanted to take some bread, and he basically said, think about how much it cost for me. And I was like, okay. And I realized that it's incomprehensible how much the cross costs God. And in the American or English scene, there is sort of a saying that said that he bankrupted heaven to save us, which is true. It's a true statement. And I started to think about, what does that actually mean? Like, what happens when you bankrupt a company, for example? And it means that basically they go so far into debt that they can't come back anymore, and they basically sort of have to lay everyone off. The company just sort of goes extinct. It becomes a hollow shell. All the records are still there. All the files of who worked there, all the money, and like the how do you say, like the administration is still there. But then I started to like meditate a bit on it, and I was like, what does it actually mean to bankrupt? And then I started to think, like, wait, if you bankrupt a company, it means that all the existing positions where people worked, those people get kicked out, right? So if you are the owner of a company and you don't like how the board is settled, like how decisions are made, but you can't change the company because there's shares here, there's shares there, that person is in control of that, those are in control of these, and you don't have control over that situation directly, then what can you do? Nothing. You can try to buy all the shares, but if they don't want to sell, then you can't do anything. So when he died on the cross, he well he died for our sin, of course, and it cost him everything. It cost Jesus everything to die on the cross, because he was fully God, fully man. He died on the cross with all our sin, and that cost God everything. It cost heaven everything. But what happened when he came back is that because he took on all the debts and God resurrected him, he was in charge of all that debt. And all the positions that were filled in the past were now vacant. The people were still there, but he was able to take control of all that. He was able to enclose it because he took on all the debts. So now, in the resurrection, he is Lord of all. He is not just a company with people that work where he has no control over it. Now he owns the entire company, which is super cool to think about if you think about it in money terms, and it's something that happens in the Bible. Like, of course, with these things, you have to think about the spirit of mammon, and that money is a servant, and we should not serve money, but money should serve us. But in that sense, it's not wrong to think about these things in monetary terms, right? In value terms. And that's also what he said when he died on the cross. He said, "Tetelestai," it is finished, and it's a money term that says paid in full. So it's very interesting to look at how what Jesus did on the cross for us in a monetary way, to say like, oh, he bankrupted heaven, and when he died, he said, "It is finished. It is complete." Tetelestai. I think I'm not sure which language it is. It could be Aramaic, it could be Greek, it could be Hebrew. I'm not exactly sure which language. Maybe Latin or something. But it means it is finished, paid in full. So yeah, I started thinking about that. I was like, wow, He actually bankrupted heaven for us so he could buy it back or gain full control over the company that died so he could do what he wanted with the company, right? It was his in the first place, but because of rules he could not, that he set himself, he could not gain control of the entire company. But because he died and he rose again and he had the money to buy everything back, sort of, he could gain control of the full company. I thought it was super cool to think about. I was like, wow, this is God. He's like, I did everything, I paid everything. We don't have to worry about anything. This is his company. He decides everything. Um, so I thought that was pretty cool as a thought to share. I hope it blesses you. Have a good day. Shalom. See you later. Bye bye.